What's going on, guys? We got Mamdani about to make an announcement, and here he comes. Let's check it out. Mamdani's making a live announcement, just live right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. The great W.E.B. Du Bois once said, "We should measure the prosperity of a nation not by the number of millionaires, but by the absence of poverty and the prevalence of health." By that measurement, our city is anything but prosperous. Too many of our fellow New Yorkers live lives of poverty and suffering, and too many others live lives where health is nothing more than a rumor of something they cannot afford. When I take office in 2 days, I seek to change not only the measure of the well-being of those who live in our city, but those also tasked with the work of measuring. We are here today at Elmhurst Hospital, which serves over 1 million patients annually, and so often feels the pain of poverty and ill health more acutely than anywhere else in our city. If anyone should hold the public's trust in the work of transforming a healthcare system full of disparities and fighting for New Yorkers who most need the services our city can provide, it is the leader who has guided this institution through moments of adversity and success. I am proud to announce that Helen Arteaga will serve as my Deputy Mayor of Health and Human Services.
I'm assuming that's her standing behind him, not clapping. I don't know.
Helen has served as CEO of New York City Health and Hospitals Elmhurst since February of 2021. The same hospital that saved her and so many other New Yorkers' lives during COVID. Her tenure has been transformative.
What up, aquariums?
With the hospital delivering consistent improvements in care of its patients and making historic strides.
Alan B. Coney in Instagram says something that I agree with.
To support its frontline healthcare workers. It's the kind of leadership that Elmhurst residents came to expect from a daughter of the community. Someone who grew up like them, cared about people like them, and understood that New Yorkers with less are often treated with less. That leadership, driven by empathy and guided by an unshakable belief that every New Yorker deserves a life of dignity, is no less than what the people of this city will expect from their new deputy mayor. As Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Helen will have incredible power to make our city healthier and more prosperous. This is work which will demand all of government coming together, which is why I'm thrilled to also announce my corporation counsel today, Steve Banks, a name that many of you will be familiar with. Steve's legacy of service is second to none. As the former Attorney-in-Chief of Legal Aid, Steve helped some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers get back on their feet. And as the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services for 7 years under Mayor de Blasio, Steve overhauled our shelter system, helped over 175,000 New Yorkers find permanent housing, and fought for low-income tenants. There is a reason that after leaving office, he was described as the most effective social services director in New York City history. His reputation as a champion of those otherwise forgotten is recognized across the city. I am grateful to him for returning to public service. As New York's Corporations Counsel, he will be our city's lawyer, managing hundreds of attorneys and representing our city in court. It is an incredibly important role with wide-reaching and far-reaching implications, and there's no one I would rather turn to than Steve. Today is the day of announcements, and we are speaking of counsel. I am delighted to announce that I am naming Ramzi Qasim as Chief Counsel. Ramsey will be joining the administration from CUNY, where he serves as a professor of law. Government service is no novel concept for Ramsey, who served as a senior policy advisor for President Biden from 2022 to 2024. And
These guys are having some issues with their video and sound.
has deep experience arguing in court, including before the Supreme Court. I will turn to Ramsey for his remarkable experience and his commitment to defending those too often abandoned by our legal system. City Hall will be stronger with him in it, and our work of building a more prosperous city for all will have a powerful advocate. My sincere hope is that New Yorkers who have long felt on the margins of this city, the homeless veteran straining to survive, the patient searching for the care that they need, an immigrant trying to get by, will feel that they now have leaders in their corner who understand their struggles and care to fight for them. That is the city I want to build, the prosperity I intend to deliver, and the leadership that has too long been lacking. Thank you, and please join me in first introducing Ramsey Qasim, my new Chief Counsel.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking the mayor-elect for what feels both like a privilege and a calling, frankly, an honor and a call of duty to serve the city that I've called home, the city that embraced me. I grew up in war-torn countries in the Middle East, authoritarian regimes, and New York City was really my first stable and permanent home. And this is an opportunity for me to repay that debt. I've been trying to repay that debt ever since I came to this country, ever since I immigrated. Service has been the lodestar of my career, of my professional life, whether it's service, as the mayor-elect mentioned, at the White House or at CUNY, one of the oldest and largest public institutions in our country.
By the way, it's a real funny coincidence, but the word CUNY that he's saying, I don't know what that place is, but that's a word that to Persians, it means gay.
And specifically at a law school whose motto is law in the service of human needs, to give back to working class
Those of you
New Yorkers
Persians watching
and
know what I'm
serve
talking about.
their social mobility.
I'm looking up this guy right now. Professor Ramsey Qasim is his name. I'm looking it up as we speak.
Or whether it's through the clinic and nonprofit that I founded, Clear, in service of clients, communities, and movements nationwide. Service is what I look to do and what I hope to do alongside the mayor-elect and his team at City Hall to defend the rights of all New Yorkers without exception, and to create space for the mayor-elect and his team, this administration, to deliver on the promises and the agenda.
Qasim, from what I see here, I think this is from Columbia University, says, I was born, I think this is him writing, I was born in Beirut, Lebanon. So he's born in Beirut, Lebanon during civil wars. And his family is a mix of a lot of things. His nationality is Syrian at birth. And he says, of course, I am now a naturalized U.S. citizen.
That was so enthusiastically embraced by our fellow New Yorkers. So again, I thank the mayor-elect for this honor, and I look forward to speaking with all of you.
So if I were a guessing man, I would say Muslim.
Now I would like to call forward a friend and soon to be a partner in our administration, Steve Banks.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor-elect, for nominating me to lead the New York City Law Department and for your very kind words.
Beta. What's up, Tamara? What's up, everybody in the chat? Too Fast to Track. What's going on, guys? What's happened? Sorry, just been busy looking things up and going through some of these screens. But hello. Glad to have you all. Let's go. Beta man. Oh.
If only my mother and father could hear your words. During all my years as a legal aid lawyer and then as a city commissioner, they wondered what I was actually doing with my law degree. Your words would have given them a lot of nachas. I have a unique perspective on the law department. For 33 years as a legal aid lawyer, including 10 as head of the organization, I litigated against the law department. For 8 years as a city commissioner, I was
Tamara, so Patrick in the chat says, are people questioning his ability or beliefs? Two very different things, right? Or two different things, he says. And Tamara makes a good point. Tamara says, Tomorrow, where's tomorrow? Tomorrow says, Patrick, intent is more like it, questioning his intent. My question is his capacity more than anything, because a lot of people can believe in things that they have not done their homework on.
Presented by the law department.
So they may think they're doing something amazing with socialism, but maybe you need to look at history and maybe need to dig in a little deeper and do your homework on it.
In both affirmative matters involving access to rental assistance, SNAP.
And then you got Random. What's up, Random? Random is questioning everything, which I think that's really what we're all doing, bro. To be honest, I'm down. Yeah, I agree with that.
Food stamps and Medicaid, as well as matters defensively protecting and addressing the right to shelter. During my time at Legal Aid and in the years since I left city government in 2021, I've also co-counseled with the law department in matters relating to the right to shelter. I know firsthand the key role that the staff of the law department can play in supporting the mayor-elect's vision and agenda for transformative change to help New Yorkers in every community of the city.
We'll be the judge of that.
I'm honored to be the first legal aid lawyer ever nominated to be the Corporation Counsel, and I'm ready for this leadership role.
Again, we'll be the judge of that.
You see, the Legal Aid Society had 1,100 lawyers. That's even more than the numbers of lawyers at the law department. So I'm ready to manage a large law firm like I did at the Legal Aid Society.
Okay, so Random also made a point about the right to shelter. He says it's a red flag. I'm looking it up. So guys, as we speak, here is right to shelter. I don't know if you can see it that clear on your screen. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It says the right to shelter is a concept that everyone has a right to basic housing, recognized internationally as part of the human right to adequate living standards. Though not universally implemented in the U.S., some cities like New York City legally guarantee shelter via court mandates, while states like California are exploring constitutional amendments to establish a right to housing, reflecting ongoing advocacy for governmental provision of safe temporary housing for the homeless. So that's what California is doing. But Random is right. That's a red flag.
And in addition to...
You should earn your housing. And at what age do you have right to housing? When you become 18, do you have right to housing? 21? What's the age? What are the numbers? And who gets to decide? And why do they get to decide? And why do they, I mean, obviously, the other steps after housing and all that kind of stuff, or alongside with it, are living wage, minimum living wage. What does that mean? Are they going to have these things where they want to pay people living wage? So when I become 18 and I just graduate high school and I get my first job and nobody knows who the hell I am or if I can even wake up on time to show up to work, are you going to pay me enough to have pay rent, pay car note, pay insurance, health insurance, car insurance, education? I don't know, whatever else it is what exactly are these things?
To the well-known major cases that I've litigated and handled for low-income and working New Yorkers, over the course of my 44 years as a lawyer, I've represented large numbers of individual clients whose lives have been harmed by city actions. This has provided me with a unique vantage point on the human impact of city policies and practices. The law department can play an essential role in addressing the human impact of such city conduct. Finally, my wife of almost 40 years, who I met on a picket line, by the way, during a legal aid strike in 1982, she and I have been blessed over the past year with 2 grandchildren. I'm ready to take on this role because I know that under this mayor, the Corporation Counsel, and the staff of the law department can help make this city a better place for our grandchildren, for every New Yorker, and their children and their grandchildren. Thank you again, Mayor-elect, for this opportunity.
And now, our new Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Helen Santiago.
Buenas tardes, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Elmer's. I want to thank
Buenas tardes.
the mayor-elect
Come on,
Mamdani
bro.
for
You're in America, bro. Act like it.
this trust and faith in appointing me Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services. At this important moment in our city, it's not lost to me that the agency under this portfolio are the safety net for so many New Yorkers who are looking to survive or sometimes get a second chance. Whether they're visiting our hospitals, entering our shelters, or going to our after-school programs, or just aging out of foster care. It is that workforce and those providers in this portfolio that work so hard to get these New Yorkers through the hardest times in their lives. To that workforce and those providers, I say I'm ready to work alongside you to provide innovative solutions so you can take advantage of every opportunity, every interaction to address the affordability crisis that brings so many to our doors. To every New Yorker that trusts us enough to show up, and to those that are suffering in silence wherever you are, because they do not know if government will protect them or treat them with dignity.
What are we talking about? People are afraid because they don't know if the government's going to treat them with dignity? What the hell are we talking about right now, bro?
I promise you today, so many to our doors alongside you.
See, the big issue we have is half the country thinks the government should solve your problems, and half the country thinks you yourself should have the be responsible and be accountable to solve your own problems. That's the difference. And right now you're listening to people that expect the government or depend and have become dependent on the government to solve their problems.
To provide innovative solutions so you can take advantage of every opportunity, every interaction to address the affordability crisis that brings so many to our doors. To every New Yorker that trusts us enough to show up, and to those that are suffering in silence wherever you are,
here we go,
because they do not know if government will protect them or
they don't know if government will protect. They don't know if the police will protect them because you guys destroy police everywhere Democrats go, and these new Democrat socialists go. They destroy policing. They destroy. They make it okay for criminals to rob, loot, hurt, kill, do violent crime, all kinds of stuff.
Treat them with dignity. I promise you today that I will work so hard to ensure that you are seen and that we are thinking big and courageous about solutions that will allow you to thrive in the city that we love. You see, I see you because your struggles are mine. I am who I am.
Oh, she's about to cry. The struggles are real. Oh my God. You live in America, bro, the greatest country in the world with the greatest opportunity on the planet that treats people better than anywhere else in the world. And you want to get up here and act like this? Wow. By the way, what's up, Jen? Good to have you back. Let me know, guys, should I turn on subscriber only mode? I'm down.
Because of them. I want to thank Mayor-elect and the team for indulging this appointment here at Elmer's Hospital. Because you see, here is where my advocacy was born. It is here where my dad died without having lack of insurance. It was here that I
without having lack of insurance. That doesn't make sense, but it's okay. We understand.
Survived COVID. And it's here that I want to say, Madre, to
it's here where she survived COVID. Bro, these people are gone.
Sacrificio valió la pena.
Health Secretary of New York, guys. Welcome the brand new Health Secretary. She survived COVID. She's on her 12th booster.
And it is here that I serve as a proud CEO for the past 5 years. Like the mayor-elect, I'm just another immigrant kid from Queens. But the two of us are ready to take everything that we learned from our culture, our families, and our upbringing to.
Someone's asking about if I've traveled or if I was in the I was not in the military, regrettably. I wish I was. I wish I would have served my country, but I did not. Have I traveled? Yes, probably way more than you will ever travel.
Make big changes in New York City, the city that has loved us so much. So to Dr. Katz, my H&H family, and my almost strong family of 6,057, know that I'm super grateful for these last 5 years. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for learning together, for growing together, for crying together, and for overall coming together for our city. When I walked through the doors of City Hall.
Random, you missed it, bro. She was just telling us how she survived COVID.
In like 2 days.
And then, by the way, let me know, guys, if we should go subscriber only mode. I'm down if you guys think that's what we need.
I'll be walking in with all of you inside my soul and my spirit. But now I'm ready to work on something really cool. I'm ready to work on the mayor's-elect vision and dream for New York City. Mil gracias.
I'll take questions in one moment, but
Espo says subscriber only. Okay, we'll go subscriber only. Here we go.
just want
Give me a sec. There it is. Lady and Tramp says, you are such a horrible person. I think she's talking to Mamdani. You're right. Mamdani is a horrible person.
Yeah, we'll start with on-cover questions, please, and for everybody. For the mayor-elect.
Cecilia says, hey, bro, this you.
Department of Community Safety, we haven't heard
What
that
do you
from
mean? Yes, this is me. I don't know what that means.
It's gonna be under
Do I know you?
DM, or is this under something that's just
Tamara says
The
much
Department of
better.
Community Safety would fall
Yeah.
under the first deputy mayor's portfolio. However, it will require a whole of government approach and commitment, and I look forward to working with our new deputy mayor in ensuring that.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Hi, Mayor-elect. The comptroller released an audit this morning
She thinks she won Miss Universe. Exactly, bro.
declaring that the health insurance stabilization fund, which pays for supplemental benefits for city workers, is insolvent, recommending that it be dissolved. He found that it has outstanding liabilities of $3.1 billion. That is obviously not nothing. Would like to hear your response. And also, what do you say to city workers who are perhaps concerned about their health coverage in light of this?
Well, to city workers, I will say each and every day that this will be an administration that takes your concerns seriously and looks to do more than that. It looks to actually deliver on them. And the report, as well as any other analysis, is something that we are going to take seriously as we assume office in a few days.
Mayor-elect, this constellation of advisors seems like it could really be at the intersection of potentially combating efforts from the Trump administration, from beefing up the law department to prevent deportations, as you've mentioned, to pending SNAP and other benefit cuts. Have you had kind of a conversation with this cohort about the approach to the Trump administration, and what are your first few initial actions you're going to take relative to these top advisors and what you're instructing them to do relative to the Trump administration?
Well, I think it all comes back to the welfare of New Yorkers. And what I am so excited by, frankly, in each and every one of these appointments are New Yorkers who are committed to not only protecting those who call this city home in terms of their rights and their freedoms, but also in terms of their ability to find care in a city where too often healthcare is something that is synonymous with being something that is unaffordable. And I think that even in my own conversations with the president directly, I will always and have.
What's up, Sean Kearns? And dude, he's talking about welfare, and the people that he just talked about and nominated, and he just introduced to us and named are into welfare. It's obvious. And welfare is the destruction of America, of what America is. Providing welfare, excessive amounts of welfare, is what has led us to all of the problems that we've had. Not all, but most of the problems that we had. And it's really the destruction of the American dream, and it creates the alternative disaster of an American dream. People come here with the idea of getting on our welfare programs because they're broke in their countries and they want to come here and leech off of the American government, which is the taxpayers, you and I. And that's a big problem. Also, think about this for a second. If we didn't have welfare programs, we would not have the $10 billion, sorry, the wrong hole, the $10 billion fraud in Minnesota. If we didn't have welfare, we wouldn't be paying tax dollars to the tune of over $10 billion to welfare programs in Minnesota. Think about that.
Made the case for this city. I look forward to my top staff doing the same.
But is it that you would first pick up the phone and call the president? If you didn't get along, okay, these guys go at him? Is that kind of the approach?
I will look to have a conversation with anyone and everyone. And also, I think it's important that there are fights and freedoms that will be protected in conversations. There are fights and freedoms that will be protected in court. There are a number of active court cases, frankly, that I look forward to working on with my nominated corporations counsel to ensure that our actions as a city are furthering the protection of the rights of the people who call it home. Thank you.
Question for both mayor-elect and the new deputy mayor. The first mayor.
What rights is he talking about furthering? What protections of what rights of what people?
Elect, you have very limited time left before you take office. Are you planning to announce your next schools chancellor and transportation commissioner in the next 24 hours? Just trying to gauge where you're at with that. And
Look at these clowns in the chat, bro. I still read them after he deletes them. It says, you're genuinely retarded. This person is telling me, Jop Zip. You're genuinely retarded. Had to subscribe to say that, but unsubscribing immediately. LMAO. Have fun with your 3 brain cells. What did he say? He said from the Constitution, provide for the general welfare. No, bro. That's not what they meant in the Constitution. There was no welfare. Did you know that the first welfare programs were created right around 1913? Those types of welfare programs that are destroying our country. That's why prior to 1913, if you guys don't know, before 1913, we let lots of people come into our country. Why? Prior to that date, there were no welfare programs. When they came to our country as immigrants, they knew they had to become part of our economy. They had to be productive parts of our economy and our country, not suckers, not bloodsuckers, not taking tax money. Before 1913, when you came to this country, you knew you would come and you would work hard, and you would, if you came with money, you would use your money. If you didn't, you worked hard, you created a living, you created a life for you, you started a family, or you brought your family, you raised your family, you develop a company, you developed, I don't know, whatever it is, you raise your kids here, you worked your ass off, and you made what was the American dream. That's what it was. That's what that was. Now the American dream is welfare. Now after 1913, we have what we call welfare. We're becoming more and more a welfare state. So don't give me that bullshit from look at the Constitution says welfare. No, that's not what they intended. Thanks for playing, but you lost.
Mayor as well. Are you still going to have a role here at the hospital, or are you going to be leaving permanently? Thank you, guys.
So to the first question, I'll give you the answer you don't want to hear, which is wait and see.
Cooper is saying the American dream now is how much stuff can I get handed to me for free? Yep, exactly, bro. Not only is that, here's the real American dream. The new American dream is I leave Somalia and I come and I get taxpayer money and I live on welfare. 85% of Somalians are on some type of welfare, right? Those immigrants in Minnesota, 85% or more. Some numbers are higher, are on welfare. Then the next step after taking welfare, taxpayer money, yours and I's, our taxpayer money, once after they take our money, then they defraud for billions of dollars on top of that. That's the American dream. Come here, live off of the Americans, then commit fraud and take as much money from them as we can illegally. That's their American dream now.
I would not be leaving my home here at Elmhurst Hospital if it wasn't something important. And working with Mayor-elect and his vision and his dream is something that I want to do because I see the impact. But more importantly, it's going to take a lot of work, so I'm going to dedicate 100% to the vision.
Yeah, Joe.
I have a question for the nominee. I was wondering, could you, observing from the outside, is there anything you feel like you want to do differently about how the law department has approached the litigation with the Trump administration? It's sort of how it handles the work with immigration that city and state.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Let me take a little bit of a step back. I've been involved with leading two other institutions, the Legal Aid Society and the Department of Social Services. And my first approach in leading both those organizations and making major reforms in both of them was to engage the frontline staff, to understand the nature of the work that they're doing, their views of the work that they're doing, and the kinds of ways that they see that they can play a key role on the front lines of moving forward with the mayor's affordability agenda. So I come to the institution of the New York City Law Department with that same approach, that in order to move an institution forward, you have to engage the people who are doing the work and move forward on that basis. At the same time, the mayor's been very clear about what his vision is, what his values are, and the law department's going to be a major part of that when legal responses are needed. One thing I know as a lawyer, and I learned as a city commissioner, lawyering is involved in almost everything involved in the acts, the actions that government takes. And so we're going to be very much looking forward to helping implement the mayor's affordability agenda.
And I'll just add one thing, which is that
Random and Brian, I think some of these people are saying it in the chat. Welfare we get it. These programs or whatever, here to help people in hard times, people obviously that are disabled, stuff like that. That's understandable. Able-bodied people, I don't agree with that. They should be right away have to deal with their problems, figure it out. If they have to, absolutely have to, it should be for a very short period of time, as Random was saying, to help you up out of a hole. But even that, I'm really not for that. To be honest, I have to think about that a little bit more. But if you need it, it's for a very, very quick, brief moment in time to help you out real quick, and then you get on with your life. If you can't figure it out, how is us giving you free money going to help you figure it out? It doesn't. It actually makes things worse 9 out of 10 times.
I will demand excellence from my team, from myself, and also I will ensure that we create the conditions where that excellence is possible to deliver on. And what I mean by that is that we have seen a shortage in staffing within the city's law department, and one of the commitments in making this nomination is also to ensure that we provide that same kind of focus in the intricacies of the law department itself, the staffing of the law department, so that our nominated corporations counsel can actually do the work that we are asking of them.
You said in the past you want a lot of those lawyers to focus on immigration cases. Is that still the case, or are they going to be doing just kind of more normal work too elsewhere in the law department?
Frankly, I think that there is a clear need for a few hundred additional lawyers at the law department just from the beginning of it. And I think that the work will encompass some work in providing legal services for immigrant New Yorkers. The question of the totality of that work I will also leave to my corporations counsel.
Okay, so he's not saying a whole bunch. He's answering questions. We're going to keep it going. But in the meantime, I'm going to call out lies in the chat. So we got some lies here. JobZip says that Trump is at historic lows.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. He is not. And whatever else he said was also a lie. I just skipped past it. But what else? Oh, someone else was saying something about, the people that are abusing welfare are a small percentage of people. The majority of people on it actually need it. Most people don't want to rely on the government. I'm going to put this chat up. This is also not true. First of all, it depends on who you're talking about. Different groups of people see welfare differently. Some groups of people don't want to be on it. Some people, they don't care if they're on it. If it's free, they want to take it. They take advantage of it. And an example I've given before is very simple. How many Japanese people do you know on welfare? We'll wait. Now, how many Somalians do you know on welfare? Yeah, over 85% on some type of welfare. Somali immigrants in Minnesota. What's up, State Line? And so there's a difference. Different groups of people, different groups of immigrants have different mindsets, and that's just a reality. So you can sit here and say people don't want to be on welfare, but you're only speaking to either yourself, your immigrant group, or some specific group. Not everyone feels like that, especially not in these days. In 2025, around the globe, it's become socialist welfare style of mentality. People want to take advantage of everything they can that's free. And that's what's happening. They're coming, and we've let them come from broke situations without having actual sponsors. We used to make them have sponsors to take care of them. Now we just let them in here, come in here broke, and put them right away on welfare, and that's their way of life. You guys, you got to understand this stuff. So when you say these kind of things, you don't understand it, but you're speaking for yourself. And you're saying most people on welfare are not abusing welfare. We're not talking about them abusing welfare, by the way. We're talking about them being on and just using welfare. People don't need to be on welfare. They're able to go and work. Let them go and work. Let them go and think of something to create. Let them go and create something out of that. Let them figure out their lives just like everyone else is. Be a productive part of our economy, not a bloodsucker. Don't be on it. We're not talking about abusing welfare, which is a problem. We're talking about using welfare. People are using it, and they should be off of it. It's time to stop living in mommy and daddy's basement and get up and go out and do something with yourself. That's what it is. When you're living off government, using welfare, you basically said, I'm going to keep taking mommy and daddy's money. And what happens when you do that? The children never grow up. And that's what we're doing. We've created generations of children in our country that have never grown up because they want to keep sucking off the teat of the government, which is our tax dollars.
Thank you. Chris and then John.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor-elect, and for...
How's it going, Chris?
How are you? Steve's position is obviously...
Melonas Jonas says, can you prove you are not AI from Russia? Crazy, bro. Oh, it's so funny.
Have you received any assurances from the council that they will confirm this nomination? And follow up on Joe's question.
Let me do that one first, and then, yeah. Thank you, brother. I have been in touch with incoming Speaker Menon about the nomination of Steve Banks as our corporation's counsel, and I look forward to that process.
Got it. On Joe's question, you proposed on a campaign trail to hire specifically...
I agree, Espo.
...law department lawyers. When you announced that, you said that was part of an effort to kind of Trump-proof the city, to be able to fight back against Trump administration initiatives. Is that pledge still holding? Are you going to hire those 200 attorneys? Are we going to see that in the prelim budget? And if Steve could speak a little bit to how attorneys would be deployed.
He just got a question about what he's going to do with Trump, and I want to hear it, but I also want to post Jose Gonzalez. Jose Gonzalez, what is your point with this, bro? Jose says 44% of Somalians are in welfare. No. 85% or more of Somalians in Minnesota are on some type of welfare. 85% or more. But what is your point with that statement? I'm curious.
Specifically to fight the Trump.
That pledge is still continuing of hiring 200 additional lawyers, and it's also a pledge of thinking about what the legacy of the law department has been for decades. The law department had been on the front lines of many of the fights for equal rights across this country, but today it has been hollowed out. And this is incredibly important for us in the work that we are seeking to do in this administration, that we have a corporations council.
This guy, Jopzip, said welfare is productive, has productive effects on the economy. False.
That's a lie.
And he says here, look at any of the successful social democracies of the West. Social democracies. What are you talking about, bro? Get out of here with that loser social democracy bullshit. Meanwhile, all of our metrics are going down. Education, income equality, purchasing power. No, the only time our metrics are going down is when democratic ideologies are being implemented. Education, the more money we put into education, the more education went into the toilet. The more, let's see, what else is he talking about? Income equality. The more we try to manually tinker with income equality, we make it worse. I've said this before. Minimum wage laws they actually hurt the very people they're intended to help. You can look it up. You can do anything you want. Minimum wage hurts not only the very people it's intended to help, it hurts our economy. It hurts our businesses' productivity, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to call that out, bro, because that's a bunch of nonsense, and they are all lies.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
And a law department that is not only staffed, but is also back on the front lines as opposed to the defensive that we have seen over the last few years.
Mayor-elect, do you support a
No
very
worries.
controversial in the city, but do you support a ban on horse carriages here in New York City? Would you support a ban?
I've said that I support
Jose,
removing horse
I agree,
carriages
bro.
from Central Park, and I've also said that I look forward to working with union partners and community leaders to
Oh,
actually
look at who's
deliver on
back. Look at who's back. Psycho Black is back. Holy cow, Psycho is back. No, minimum wage should be gone. We should not have minimum wage. Minimum wage hurts the very people it's intended to help.
I think we have time for just one quick one.
Hey,
How's it going, Dave?
good.
Let me hear what he said
To
here.
working with
Horse carriages here in
law department of the fights for equal rights across this country, continuing of hiring 200 additional lawyers, and it's also a pledge of thinking about what the legacy of the law department has been for decades. The law department had been on the front lines of many of the fights for equal rights across this country, but today it has been hollowed out. And this is incredibly important for us in the work that we are seeking to do in this administration, that we have a corporations council and a law department that is not only staffed, but is also back on the front lines as opposed to the defensive that we have seen over the last few years.
We have someone here says, Britain on Fire says, why don't the top 1% pay their fair share of taxes? That would really change the dynamics of our country. Are you aware of who's paying taxes, by the way? I'm like, when people make comments like this, it's like all they do is listen to Bernie Sanders and numb nuts on the left, and they just regurgitate what they're hearing. Do you have any idea of what you're talking about when you say make the top 1% pay their fair share? Do you know what percentage of taxes are paid by the top 1%? Do you know? The top 1% of our country, just so if you guys have no idea, let me just school you so you have an idea of what the hell's going on. The top 1% of our country pays over 20% of all taxes. The top 20% of our country pays over 75% of all taxes. Now, we'll take it a step further. The top 50% of our country pay for 97% of all taxes. So when you morons come in here and say, make people pay more taxes, make the top 1%, here's their favorite, I just posted it, this guy said, make the top 1% pay their fair share. Bro, the top 50% of earners in our country pay for 97% of all taxes in our country. That means the bottom 50%, for the most part, are not paying taxes or contributing to our tax revenue of our country. Do you guys understand that? The top 1% is paying for 20% or more. I think it's 25% now. What's the number? Let's just put this in here. What? Here, what percentage? Here we go. The top 1%. Whoa, I'm off. Whoa. I'm off. Sorry, guys. The top 1% of taxpayers pay roughly 40% of all income taxes. I think I was talking about the top 1% of the 1%. I'm sorry, billionaires. I think it's billionaires pay 25%. The top 1% pay 40% of all federal income taxes. You guys want to search that? You can search that yourselves. I did it for you, but go ahead, please. For goodness sakes, for those of you that say the top 1% need to pay their fair share, you just said that, right? In the chat, the top 1%, believe me, everyone that's on stage right now with Mamdani and all his goons, they all believe the same thing. All these Bernie Sanders and all these people say make the top 1% pay, make rich people pay the fair share. The top 1% of all earners in our country pay for 40% of all taxes.
Mayor-elect, do you support a very controversial the city, but do you support a ban on horse carriages here in New York City? Would you support a ban?
I've said that I support removing horse carriages from Central Park, and I've also said that I look forward to working with union partners and community leaders to actually deliver on that.
All right. I think we have time for just.
I like this one right here. Lunsky Lenny. W. Lunsky Lenny, he says, this is hilarious. This is a hilarious argument. Imagine an island with 100 people and one person has all the wealth. Then that person looks down on the rest saying, I pay 100% of taxes. W. Lenny, thanks for bringing this up, bro, because this is a good point. This is a great point. 100 people on an island and one person has all the wealth. One person, first of all, doesn't have all the wealth. One person doesn't have all the wealth. But imagine one person pays for 40% of all the 100 people. And it's still not enough? One person kills himself. 199 people go and do nothing. One person kills himself to build something. He ends up paying for 40 other people. And you want him to pay more? You want him to pay more? You want to do nothing and pay more? Have him pay more? Is that what you want? And what do you want the taxes to be spent on? To giving free things to people that want to do nothing? This is loser mentality. This is total loser mentality.
Hey,
how's it going, Dave?
Good. Just following up on Morgan, I know you said wait and see, but buses.
The top 1% don't have all the wealth. No. That's why our country has the most millionaires and most people below middle class than any other country in the world.
We're so central to your campaign.
Look it up.
Yes.
They've been so central. The transit has been so central to a lot of what you talked about in office. So what are we looking for in terms of DOT leadership come January 1st? Is there going to be an interim commissioner, or are we going to have a new person who I get to bother with?
No matter who's there, I know that you'll be bothering them. And I appreciate it because, frankly, what this is about looking for a fealty to a commitment to New Yorkers that are often overlooked. Right? Today, we have spoken about it in the context of health.
No, you guys are the ones that are saying that other people aren't doing the work. And I'm just piggybacking on what you're saying. You guys are saying top 1% are the only ones working, making money. And I'm telling you it's not true. I'm saying everyone's working. But the top 1% are paying 40% of all taxes. The top 20% are paying 75% of all taxes. The top 50% are paying 97% of all taxes. The bottom 50% of our country is not even paying towards our taxes, to be honest.
But when we speak about bus riders, we're speaking about more than 1 million New Yorkers who are riding the slowest buses in the country. This will continue to be a focus of my administration and a recognition that it is New York City government that runs the streets of this city, and therefore there is an opportunity in the way in which we approach that, not only to honor the commitments and proposals that have been put forward in prior years, which Streets Blog also broke the news of at a press conference not too long ago, but also, frankly, to think about how do we make this city an example for the world in the ways to get around efficiently and reliably.
Thank you guys so much. All right.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, everyone. But we'll see you soon. I do promise.
There they go. There they go. The Socialist Party, the socialist left-wing lunatic part of the Democratic Party. There they go. There they go. And someone in the chat, I passed it by, I don't know where it is now. Someone in the chat said the top 1% don't work. They make other people work for them. Yeah, you are mentally captured, my friend. I think it was Psycho Black. You obviously have no idea how people build wealth. First of all, most of the people that built their wealth have worked their asses off to build that wealth, and work harder than anyone you've ever met in your life to build that wealth. And it's not easy to build wealth in any country. It's not easy. And you want to say that people don't work to build wealth, then you have no idea what it's like to create wealth. Creating wealth is not just, oh, let me sit down and make people work for me. If it's that easy, why aren't you doing it? Yeah, it's not that easy. You don't just sit in your house and go, oh yeah, go ahead and go world, do some work and make sure the money goes into my account. Moron. Eckerd, thank you, bro. Appreciate you subscribing. He's subscriber number 13787, baby. I love it. I love it, bro. Thank you. Or girl. Thank you. I think I can't actually. I'm sorry. I can't tell. It's hard to see the pictures, but that's what it is, guys. You got morons thinking that people that built wealth didn't work and don't still work. Guarantee. Look at our president, by the way. Look at Donald Trump, 80 years old. 80 years old. What's up, nurse? Yeah, so yeah, look at our president. Oh, look at this. One of one says, dude, you barely look American. Your opinions are shit. Rep America, baby. I represent America. I represent America, bro. And I look as American as you do, I bet you. What does it mean to look American, by the way? Look at our president. Talking about people that oh, they don't work. Our president outworks everybody. He's 80 years old, doesn't need the money, doesn't need anything. He's good, but he outworks everybody. Outworks everybody. B. Perkins says, may I please ask you to expand on your earlier comment that minimum wage is not helpful? I'm interested in your position. Minimum wage hurts the very people that it's intended to help, bro. That's what I said earlier, and it's true. And you can look it up, you can research it, you can go through it, but the reality is when they raise minimum wage and when that actual minimum wage becomes the effective minimum wage, whereas like a company or some business has to pay that minimum wage. Let's say in California, sometimes like I think $17, $16 an hour. Instead of a liquor store paying two people $8 an hour or paying $10 an hour, they have to pay one person $16 an hour. That means less people are being employed. So that second person's gone. That means less efficiency. Instead of having two people work in the liquor store, he's got one. Or McDonald's. It's just very simple. They downsize or they find out ways to automate their processes so they have no workers. So you force them to have no workers. So there's a lot of different ways. So when minimum wage went into effect in the geographical areas where it actually went into effect, Psycho Black says $8 an hour isn't enough to live. Who said that a starting job in your life is supposed to pay you enough to live? What does that mean to live, by the way? Tell me, what does that mean to live? Give me an example of what is like, not example. Give me your definition. What does the job have to pay for in order for you to live? What you're saying. So that's what minimum wage is. In the places where minimum wage went into effect, here are the facts. The people that were between 16 and 19 years old, those people were employed less, and the minimum wage laws that went into effect helped people that were more along the ages of 25 to 30 years old, and most of those people were white people. So you had minorities that were between the ages of 16 to 19. Those minorities ended up having less jobs and making less money in overall, because they had less jobs. And the people that were white, in their middle to late 20s, ended up having more. And that's why minimum wage, it actually was intended to help people that are starting out in life. And when people are just turning 16 years old and they're of the age to work, or they're just turning 18 years old, depending on your area or whatever the age is to work, and they want to get a job. When people want to get a job, and let's say you're 16 years old or 18 years old, it's your first job. The employer is hiring you. Let's say I own a liquor store and I want to hire you. I have no idea whether you're able to get up in the morning and show up to work on time. So does my starting salary my starting hourly wages to you have to pay for your house, your home rent, your car payment, your insurance, all your food, your kids' food, your this food, your that, your education, I'm supposed to give you all of that for your first job ever, and I have no idea who you are? No, that's not how that works. You guys have a false reality in your minds about, oh, everyone should have everything and everyone should be able to have a living wage and everyone. No. When you're first starting out in the workforce, you take a lower position, it's an entry level position. You take a minimum paying job, minimum hourly, right? You get some kind of hourly wage, and you work and you prove to people you can do things, and you either move up in your job or you go get another job, and that's how that works. You should not at 16 or 18 start out with a livable wage job and you have to pay you for all your whole life. That doesn't work. That does not work. Yeah, exactly. Check the spoiled Middle Eastern guy telling us Americans what we need. Spoil. If you call working your ass off and failing and finally winning after years and years of trying and failing and being at zero, going to zero and moving up and down and killing myself and working from 9 to 5 and then from 6 to 2 a.m. If you call that spoiled, I'll happily, that's fine. But that is far from the real reality of what spoiled means. I worked my ass off, and if you want to call that, by the way, I just missed this. Welcome, Perkins. Thank you for joining, bro. Thank you for subscribing. Hell yeah, man! Just became a member. Right on. W Perkins, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you. But I worked my ass off. I worked more than probably you'll ever work in your life. Let's put it that way. And you want to call me spoiled? That's just you being a loser. Yep. So anyway, guys, that was a quick Mamdani special, and that was a good little quick live stream. I'm gonna get off and probably go to the gym, and I'll be back a little bit later with you guys. Appreciate you guys, love you guys, and I'm gonna put you out on this outro video. Enjoy the video. I'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys want to get one of these hats, it's on my website, repamerica.com. I got these other colors that you see behind me. Let me move out of the picture. We got those. So check those out. Anyway, guys, thank you again. Thank you for joining, Perkins. Woot. It's hard for me to catch your videos. Wootan. Maddie, because I also have a job. Good to see you. Wotan, do I know you, bro? Hello. Guys, thank you again. You are an Arab? No, I'm not an Arab. I'm not Arab, bro. Ye cats, thank you, bro. Thank you, guys. Jose, thank you, guys. State Line, Nurse, Random, if you're still there. Aquariums, if you're still there. You guys, appreciate you guys. Jen, good to have you back. Somebody said I'm Arab. I'm not Arab, bro. No. And Persians don't like being called Arabs. And I'm of Persian descent. I'm American. I'm of Persian descent. Oh, Wu-Tan says, yeah, I was on the streams before. Yeah, bro. That's where I recognize. Okay, good to have you back, man. I'm going to try to be on more different hours so we can catch different people, man. Because there's a lot going on. But, yeah, I'm an American, bro. And you know, you can call it what you want. Born and raised here. And repping America, bro. So, again, thank you, guys. Have a good day. And I'll catch you on the next one.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
We are all Charlie Kirk!
Why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came in on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
In that same year, you had the left side destroying Teslas, destroying Tesla buildings, committing violence.
And they used the auto pen and everything. He didn't approve this up. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
Rid of racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Military person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicaid, beat it to death.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.